Hi, my name is Nariba Shepherd.
And I'm Justin O'Negram.
And this is Terms of Service.
Boom, 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 boom.
Why you gotta do that?
I don't know. I have zero reason.
All right, audio stim, pop off.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to do another one?
No.
Okay, great.
I'm always down for the first run.
Yeah.
Even if it's chaotic as hell.
Okay, yeah.
I want it.
So like down for the first get down.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. All
How
right.
you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm just, like I'm good. It's just managing. It's just a lot of things, Yeah. So it's like I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm healthy, as I know. So
Fair.
I'm gonna knock on some wood there. So yeah, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm rested, which is nice.
Girl, don't lie to me. I know you are not rested.
I'm rested for me.
An hour?
Listen, we call that a power nap over here. So
man.
it's just
All
like
right.
that power nap got me all the way together, love.
Sure.
So there you go. How are you?
Crashing out all the time and loving it. Sometimes you just gotta let it be on the outside. Can't keep it in.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's just like, so that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Picked up an extra shift because I'm poor, and so I'm working 5 days now like a regular person.
I mean,
know.
that's a whole
But
thing.
it's still less than when I was a chef and working 105 hours ish a week.
Every
so
time
I will
you drop
take
these numbers,
this,
it drives me insane
50.
because I'm just like, yeah,
That's what it was,
it's fair.
which boils down to $14 an hour when you're on salary.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, I remember, and there's all of this, shit online that to where it's like, when you don't need to work, when you're an entrepreneur, because you can just do all of these things. It's just like, instead of doing the 9 to 5, you now do the 24/7. So I'm like, yeah.
Me personally would never choose that.
Okay.
Respect. I respect you so much because I cannot be in charge of my own schedule. I rely solely on outside factors to make me go from point A to point B during the course of a day.
It's absolutely insane how much my calendar reminds me of other people's schedules, so I can keep all the things in line.
I know.
So, and I'm just like, oh, you're going to be out of town? I'm not going to bother you. But I only remember that because my calendar is telling me so. So
We are different people.
listen, but
Intensely.
but we're doing our absolute best.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Molly. She's doing her absolute best. That's my therapist.
Yeah. So I'm like, well,
I really hope she's not listening to this. I should ask her.
I hope
Like,
that
are
she
you
is.
listening to the podcast?
I hope so. I mean, because she's like, because you shout me out.
But she doesn't know if she's not listening. She does. I'm like, does she know the name of the podcast? She does.
Okay, great. I was like, I hope so.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
working on marketing. I'm talking to people and letting them know that
I love,
do this.
growth. It's amazing. It's not just us speaking into a mic and then releasing it on the goddamn internet.
I hate being perceived.
Yes. You're fine. But
I know. Yes.
another day, new episode, and we are with, just because I'm looking at the both of you, and I am so fucking excited to welcome you both. My friends, we are here with Soul and Smoke, and I am not going to introduce either one of you. You're going to do it yourselves, because
His bit.
who can talk about you better than you? So, hello, welcome to Terms of Service.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Hey.
Hi. So please introduce yourselves. Bring it to the mic.
Okay, well, I am Heather Bublick. I am the CEO and sommelier at Soul and Smoke.
I know that's right.
I am DeAndre Carter. I'm the chef and co-owner of Soul and Smoke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, again, welcome. And as per tradition, Nuriba, go
I
ahead.
know. It was weird because the episode before this, there will be no talk of horoscopes. Gag.
Yeah.
But I want to know.
What are your signs?
I'm on the cusp between Cancer and Leo,
Death.
July 22nd.
July 22nd.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Respect. Cool.
Yes.
So my birthday is October 23rd. Scorpio, a little bit of Libra in there, but mainly Scorpio.
Goddamn.
I love how much you know about it.
Okay.
Because
That's all
I don't know anything about like me being a Go ahead.
Listen. Okay. So Cancer Leo cusp is like two of, I would say, the most like dramatic signs meeting in two very different ways. And not like a inviting drama kind of situation, just like Cancer energy is okay, I'm gonna like set up my home, it's gonna be perfect, everything's gonna be great, nesting, caregiver. And Leo is like wants to magnify all of their best qualities, so you're like literally magnifying the intent of being someone who people come to. Like you've probably created a nexus where people like know that you're going to be gentle kind of and kind, and I imagine that you have a magnetism about you that people probably talk about a lot. No.
I don't know.
It's like, I don't know.
It all sounds Greek to me.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. I respect it. I wish I knew less.
Yes. Does any of that resonate?
It doesn't have to also.
It doesn't.
I am definitely like, everything has a place, everything has a home. You know, I'm obsessed with like organizing my house when I have the time. I think I have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I don't know what magnetism is though.
Like people
Gravitate towards you?
Would you say that you have a lot of friends, even if you don't consider everyone a friend? Would you say that a lot of people probably like would refer to you as a friend?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
sure.
like people know me. Yeah.
Do people show up to support you?
Absolutely. Like our community is everything.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. It's like you have the nexus of things that you need for community building.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And you, sir, have the same birthday as my high school boyfriend. So, let me tell you something about this man. Not you, but my main takeaway from that relationship is he bought the script for The Dark Knight, had it shipped to his home, and then made me watch it with him while he read all the parts.
Oh, okay. Does that track?
No, I'm not saying don't. Yeah. But like the 23rd, that's like Scorpio territory.
Yeah.
You just secrets. Not bad secrets. You just like don't want anyone to know anything about you that they don't have to. And that's perfectly acceptable. I respect that.
You just read into his soul.
He's like
Pretty much.
speaking with intention.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yes.
don't believe in wasting time.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, I'm wasting time for. Let's get straight to it.
I love a Scorpio.
Right.
Well, you're going to be frustrated. We be dilly-dallying here.
No, it's all good. This Saturday is, I'm mentally prepared.
Oh, nice. I like that. I respect that.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. So
Now let's get into it, I guess. Well, first of all, I want to start with I'm a big fan.
Same.
Thank you.
I think the first time that I tried your food was at Jean Blanchet.
Okay.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
were covering
I
it. Yeah.
kept going back and back and back and back, and I don't care who knows it because I was just like, this is phenomenal. And also just even like the interaction was such a vibe to
Yep.
where I was like, yeah, I live here now. I was
Love
like, this
that.
is my home.
And then I
So,
discovered that you had a location in Evanston, and it's like a little treat. I don't order too often because I am a bartender and I need to pay regular bills. But at least like 2 to 3 times a month, I'll be like, I want macaroni and cheese.
Listen,
Okay.
Yeah.
listen. Like, I'm in Lakeview, and Uber Eats be like doing me so dirty, but in the best way, because it brings me y'all.
I mean, Grubhub is taking my money and they're taking everything from the industry as well. But I watched this thing the other day. It was like the trolley show, and it was you could either get rid of Black History Month or get rid of all delivery services.
Oh,
And the crash out that some of these people had, and then two of them were like, listen, this is what we do. We get rid of Black History Month, but then we make it the whole year.
Okay.
And I was like, that's not what the problem is.
No.
But okay, cool.
No.
But yeah, no, I be ordering, I be eating. And then I saw y'all again when we did the event at the Four Seasons.
yes, the I Cook for Benefit with
And
Chicago Chef's Cook.
I cannot remember the young lady's name, but she was in the bathroom wearing the shirt. When I came out of the bathroom, I was like, listen, y'all be popping off there. And I'm definitely going to come find you wherever you are there. And she's like, oh my God, I just came here to use the bathroom. Thank you. I was like, I know you're just working, but just got to let you know.
Yeah.
You're like, and I know exactly who that is.
Yeah.
So there we
So,
go.
you know.
Yes, and I believe right after that event, I sent a DM to you all, and I was like, "Hi, hello. We really wanted to talk to you. We talked to like some amazing people, and you're also amazing as well. Do you want to set up a discovery call
Yeah.
so we can figure this out?" And now we're here.
Yes, we're so happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Of course. And so, just for us to get into it, can you talk to us a little bit about your respective backgrounds?
All right. Yeah. So I'm born and raised in Chicago on the South Side. I grew up in the Wild Hunters. I went to Simeon High School. Went to Le Cordon Bleu here.
Cool.
In Chicago.
Rip.
Yep. Did my internship right across the street and became my first sous chef at Moto restaurant. So that was really big for me. After Moto, actually that's what Heather and we both met at Moto. We was both interns at the time.
Cool.
Interns.
Yeah.
Haven't seen one of them in a minute. Do they make them still?
I don't know. But I did a 6-month internship there. You did 3 months.
Yeah, I did.
Was it paid?
6 months?
It was unpaid.
It was unpaid.
Oh.
You
it was,
stashed for 6 months?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I ran my own station while I was an intern.
Yeah.
They really got you. Damn.
You like ran the
Learned
whole
a lot.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learned a ton. I feel like that's how I feel right now. It's like, oh, them 3 months I worked at Moto for free. I'm pretty much getting paid off all that stuff I learned right now.
That's how I felt
10
about
times right now.
Blackbird.
Nice.
That's how I felt about Blackbird. 1 year there, and it was like I could work anywhere, and I was so confident in like my skills. It's like a program. Never mind. That was like a trauma stare off. I was like,
No, but it was a different time then for sure. But you know, you learned so much. The experience we took away from there, we could have gone anywhere.
yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
And then after.
Yeah.
Yes.
So pretty much, yeah. So after Moto, Heather and I, we started like this underground like dinner series called Feast and Vibe, which turned into like this, you know, progressive catering company. You know, that's what really, you know, kind of catapulted us of being in the mindset of being, you know, entrepreneurs, small business owners. We really like proved to ourselves that we can make something happen. You know? And yeah, from there, So the Smoke was born because different companies was asking us to drop off, you know, oh, they heard about Feast and Vibe. Oh, can you guys come do some catering for us? But, oh, you know what? We don't want the staff. You know what? Just is there anything you just could put in the pan and drop off? And I was like, yeah, I can drop off some mac and cheese, some pulled pork, some barbecue chicken, some salad, stuff like that.
Not the whole menu.
Yeah, but, you know, at that time, we didn't even have, like, brisket and pastrami and gumbo yet. You know, it was just, like, food that we was making, like, for lunch for, like, different offices. And we were still doing it, like...
Y'all's gumbo make me weak.
The gumbo is
Same.
outstanding.
I am fighting for my life to not go home. I'm like already like I'm ordering today. I was supposed to go to the grocery store after this. No.
The gumbo is like literally, I have it every single day for lunch. It is.
She's not lying.
Like, I am its #1 fan.
Yeah.
I love gumbo.
Yeah. And at the John Ponche, is you at the gumbo? Like, what was it? Or,
Yeah, I think it was one year that we did the gumbo. I think the recent year, last year we was one of the nominees, so we didn't cook last year. But the year before, I did like a turkey chowder or something, like some type of chowder.
Or did you do the gumbo over mashed potatoes?
Maybe.
Whatever
We do so
it
many
was.
events. Yeah, probably.
I think it was that.
That's probably that.
fire.
But I remember one of
Because
the
like I
years I
said,
wanted to do
I
like
lived at y'all station, and I was
He
just like,
definitely brought some back for me because I was like,
I love
hold
that.
down the fort. But wait, the last one, Four Seasons, was the cigar.
Yeah, the brisket
the cigar. Yeah, the brisket cigar.
Yeah, and that's an homage to Moto.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
R.I.P.
cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of those intern things you're getting paid off now.
Yeah, for sure. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Which part? The cigar? Or
Yeah.
The cigar. So so it was a popular dish at Moto, but it was prepared completely different. You know, you had sofrito pork, you had grape leaves,
Red pepper fire.
red pepper fire. The ash we still do the same. It's black and white sesame seed ash. But you know, at the Solar Smoke where we use collard greens. You know, I use some smoked brisket or smoked pulled pork, and then I use my signature barbecue sauces to fire it. And we kind of like dip that in the ash and present it that way.
It was delightful.
Thanks,
I
yeah,
ate
still a
it.
hit, yeah.
Twice.
And that's one of the things, like, that's why, you know, and then just coming off that mentality of things that, you know, are fun to eat, you know, that was kind of like the vision behind Feast and the Vibe. You know, we had ahi tuna poke push-ups, you know, they had the cigar, we had edible squash blossoms, the mini takeouts. We was doing like a little play on like fun food, but we wanted to be very familiar to people. And it was, you know, it was doing really good, you know, to the pandemic. Like we was on every wedding list, every venue list that we ever wanted to be on. Our calendar was like fully packed for that 2020
We love a
year.
preferred vendor list. Yes.
But yeah, you know, just coming from fine diners, I was just like, I really didn't understand the preferred vendor list when I was, you know, I'm leaving Moto, I'm a Michelin stars, you know, chef, you know, like,
yeah,
what
for
if,
sure.
you know, let me in, yo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it was kind of like different, you know, you have to get to know people, you have to, you know, build these relationships. I think that was like one of the biggest learning curves, you know, coming from fine dining to going into like the weddings and events thing. It was all about like who you know and, you know, what relationships you got.
It is a different beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we definitely walked into it thinking like, oh, well, if our food's the best, then we'll be the best and we'll be everywhere. And it was definitely more of meeting the people and learning people and
Yes.
building relationships.
Yes. Well, on that note,
Oh,
yeah.
hi.
talk a bit about your background, please.
Sure. So I grew up on the north side. My mom lived in Deerfield, and I went to high school in Rogers Park.
Pop off.
Hey.
I love Rogers Park.
Yes.
And then I went to school at UIC, and I got a degree in creative nonfiction writing, which gets you lots of places in life.
Yes.
Including a trip to culinary school where I convinced my mom I was going to be a food writer. But I needed to have food education to know how to write about food.
Damn. Sharon would have never. Sharon talked me out of going to culinary school to get a proper education in case I broke my foot.
I mean,
She's not wrong,
She's
but
not wrong.
I do not use my degree. So.
right.
Yeah.
So I went to Kendall, did my internship at Moto, met this guy. I left
This
Moto
guy.
probably
Love it.
after 2 years. And then I went to True, I guess I probably skipped a big part. So I started at Moto in the kitchen, and then as I went, Kendall does their program where you do your internship in the middle of school.
Yeah.
So I had to go back. So when I went back, I stayed at Moto and worked in their front of house, and really loved that. The very, very first night, I had worked my station in the morning, and then went to work service at night, and had a whole conversation with the table about the dish that I had prepped and prepared for months.
Yeah.
And having those relationships and those communications about the dish, and then learning about wine and how that interacted with all of it, and being able to communicate and talk about food was so exciting to me that I ended up staying in the front of house and never went back into a kitchen ever again.
Listen, Also, that is the most Cancer Leo thing you could have said. You were like, you know what? I'm really good at talking to people. And if I know the thing and then I can be even more confident in speaking about it, it's, yeah. And you were just back there. That makes sense. Scorpio life. Yeah. So, wait, also, I feel like we have not mentioned, but I think it can be like sort of sussed out that y'all are married.
Yeah.
Just for the people that aren't here in this room.
Yeah. We have 2 kids.
Yeah. When did that happen in all of the rest of it?
Yeah. She's like, we're locked in.
Down the road. No. You know, I went to True, and I was working at True on their wine team, and then he was still at Moto.
Yeah.
And we always stayed close. We always stayed tight. You know, we'd go out to eat and things like that.
Yeah. It was just like
down the road it happened.
Yeah. And then we became like really good friends, like at work. You know, just working at Moto. You know, I was the only black person there at the time. You know, it was kind of just like, you know,
I was the only girl.
And she,
really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But you know, I think the timing was unique. We both was like doing internships. Internship was hard, like in fine dining in those days. You know, it was long hours. You was pretty much doing everything. You know,
no one wants to do.
Yeah. No one wants to do. The line cooks working the same hours, and we just formed a really good relationship. So even after Heather, you know, left, I was always like called on my way to work. You know, we had talk food. We used to have this meeting every Tuesday at Moto, and Omar used to ask me, you know, everybody had to come with like fresh ideas. And if, you know, and I'll be, you know, talk to Heather on the way to work, like, man, what do you think is a good idea for the meeting? Because I'll be out, you know, at the club the night before at the party. And this was when I was younger, you know. My time.
I remember.
It kind of like put, you know, probably still my early years, but you know, as time went on, I got more serious. It was different. But in those early steps, like, yo, Heather, what you think about this idea? You know, because you don't want to be embarrassed, like in front, you know, in front of the staff meetings. But you know, things like that, and we'd hang out. We always, you know, restaurants was our thing. We used to always, you know, let's go try this restaurant. What you think? Have you ever been there before? Let's go try this dish. You know, we was always into like, you know, going out trying like different food together.
Yeah. Well, if I can interject for a brief moment. So it's really interesting because Heather, you and I talked about this during our, you know, introductory and discovery call. You know, it was such a different time in Chicago dining, right? Sure. Like, so can you both, you know, touch upon that, because it was such a different energy, and we always like to try and like bridge those, you know, kind of generational gaps to be like, you know,
generational gaps.
No, it's not generational, but you know what I mean. It's just like those community gaps over time, so not generational. Yes.
I mean, I think that, you know, it definitely was a different time. You know, we worked hard and long hours, and you know, we were definitely the outsiders in the kitchen.
Was it like early when?
2008.
Oh, that's when I went to college.
It was like the heyday. It was like
it was definitely the heyday. You know, even the people that were getting
you heard
paid
about everything at that time. Like it just felt like every place was killing it.
And everything was moving towards like a cocktail like a more serious cocktail menu, and like people are trying a little bit more things with the foods that they're putting out. It was
and everyone wanted to be the best.
Everyone wanted to be the best. You had trotters, you had
there was so much energy.
You had restaurants like, you know, like El Bulli had like, you know, that was around that time when people wanted to be like creative and really like push the envelope to like what food can be, you know. That I say that was the turning point for like progressive food, you know. It was like going from that traditional like trotters like level of dining or Keller's, Thomas Keller's like restaurant, to going to, you know, Grand Atkins. What's the other guy who used to do kind of like molecular gastronomy?
Graham Elliott.
Oh, I forgot about that, man.
Like this was going on at that time.
For sure.
Like Moto, like this was what's going on. You know, this was like everybody wanted to be dope. and we was really willing to put that time in. You know, it was long hours. You know, but
you were chasing excellence. Like there was an end goal, and you were trying to get there.
Yeah.
And you know, as much as like you didn't have necessarily like time for yourself, you know, when you were in the zone and you were working really hard at it and you were trying to get somewhere with a team and your team was your family, you know, our Moto family, like it's still like we run into someone from Moto and it's like you just saw your best friend that you haven't seen in 10 years. And the love we have for the Moto crew is unlike anything.
Yeah. So I love how you had just mentioned that, because last week I was on the phone with, and I can say this because it'll be public by the time this drops. On the phone with Giving Kitchen.
Oh, sure, we love Giving Kitchen.
Yeah.
Amazing. Shout out Giving Kitchen.
Incredible. And so I was just giving them a little bit about my background and journey throughout the industry, and just, you know, kind of creating the context for like the overall conversation. And it was, it's going to sound really stupid, but it was a day to where, like, not our full audio equipment was here because Nariba and I had met somewhere else, and then I kept it all at home. I ended up leaving my place super early and forgetting my headphones, and I was looking through like every single thing that I had, and so I was just like very much sounds of the city that day, and I was, you know, trying to send out proposals. And
I will turn around and go the fuck home and get my headphones.
I was doing my best to fight throughout the day, right? And so I'm having a very significant conversation in public. I had mentioned being at L2O, and there was a young lady a seat away from me, and I was on the phone with Giving Kitchen for a minute, and it felt like nothing. And as soon as I got off the phone, I was just like, okay, well, let me send like this recap email and like these text messages and all of this, just to keep everyone up to date with what happened. And the woman next to me was like, I'm so sorry, did you mention L2O? And I was like, yeah, I was. And she's like, I worked at L2O. She's like, no one talks about L2O in public. Like, it's one of those, like, if you know, you know. And I was like, oh, okay, like when you're there and blah, blah, blah. Like, and she was under Laurent, I was under Matthew Berkeley. And so we realized that we knew a lot of the same people. And it was just this, like, we had never met, but there was this camaraderie and this understanding and this familiarity with one another that was so beautiful that we were like, we get it. Like, we just get one another, because there is a personality and character that, like, you just have as you go through something at that caliber, to both of your points of, like, chasing excellence. And, I mean, we exchange information, all that. Go ahead.
Interject here, and as someone with a human development and family background, I'm going to go ahead and say that's the essence of a trauma bond. Because you were in a situation where you had to prove yourself continuously all the time under the standards of the system that I don't need to go into. We have all been a part of it for a long time, and we know what it's like. But I will say that there are some friendships that come out of that do last a lifetime, and I am grateful for that. But I fear that we should be moving towards actually getting to know people outside of a nervous breakdown and a walk-in.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure, yeah. And that was like, and it's funny that you had mentioned that, because that was one of the things that we had discussed. And I mean, like, we were sitting together for like an hour and a half, just like talking about not only the experience, but actually being like, who are you? who are you outside of the establishment? Which was great. And then, you just
be talking to people.
Listen,
like, out in the wild.
She approached me, but
an hour and a half.
Oh yeah,
straight. My brain is like stranger danger.
No,
you could be trying to get information from me to look at my passwords or some shit.
She was killing some time, and it's, for me, it was a really unique example as to like, kind of headphones on, focusing on the work, doing the things that you need to do. And it was so serendipitous that was like truly one of the rarest times that I just was available to have someone right next to me who we had this commonality, and then it just grew from there. So I was like, well, damn, Jen. Hey.
I was going to say, what's her name?
Her name's Jen. I'm not going to put her last name out there.
You don't have to.
But yeah, we took like all of these photos, sent it to one of our old colleagues, and it's like, how the hell do you know? I was just like, I was minding my own damn business.
No, you
and
weren't.
then she responded in the group chat, and she was like, I wasn't, because as soon as he said L2O, I was all in. It's like, I heard everything he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, I love it.
Yeah. It's just...
Yeah, it's just like getting it's like just being part of a team. I grew up, I used to play on basketball teams, football teams, it's like when you win the game, you're working with a group of people.
You
guys,
don't know. You don't sports ball.
And you accomplish.
No, she's right. I'm being like, no, I don't know.
No, when you accomplish something together as a group, that's rewarding.
It feels nice.
Yeah, and just like my team building came through
being in those spaces.
Well, but it was also a form of community building as well, because we've talked about it numerous times on terms of service, and it's the industry is so open-armed that you don't know who you're interacting with. You don't know their background. It's just like, it's such a melting pot of different experiences. And that was like the coolest thing to me. I was like, damn, we can just like just be so damn different, and also just be like the closest of friends.
Yeah.
And, and get married and have kids.
Ooh.
Yes. So like, honestly, like, it's just because it's really beautiful how it's just like, you never know who you're going to meet and what the future holds. So
yeah,
I'm just impressed that y'all can work together.
Yeah. It's a lot of together time. But at the same time, if we didn't have kids or we didn't have Soul and Smoke, I do not know what we would talk about. It's
That's
like our
real,
whole
though.
life. It's everything.
Right. Yeah.
We have the same goal, which makes it easier. And that's been helpful.
Yeah. So how? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we are like regular, we regular people, got dreams, goals, we spend a lot of time together right now. It's like we wake up every day, it's like we chill, we know what each person's supposed to do, as far as like getting the kids ready, what's happening at work. But yeah, it's, it was growing, just kind of like balanced it out.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it really sounds like it was just like this natural progression.
It really, we never had a plan. We never had a business plan. It was always like, we're going to do these pop-up dinners. Like, we didn't have money to start a company or a restaurant. We started doing pop-up dinners, and that got canceled. So we moved the dinner that we had scheduled into our apartment and did underground dinners, and loved that. So did underground dinners for a while, and then we could only seat 8 people. People would want us to do parties for like 10 or 12, and they wanted to rent the whole table.
Yeah.
So we started catering in people's homes and doing that, and it always just progressed that way, where, our customers asked us to do something. We were restaurant people. You want us to do something, we're going to say yes, and we're going to figure it out as we go.
Out along the way, yeah.
And, that's how everything built, from the catering company. We never set out to have a catering company.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened, and everything changed again.
Yeah. We just kept pivoting. And that's when the food trucks came in. That's when, being at, we did the ghost kitchen thing. That's how we ended up with Rockwell and, Time Out Market. And, now we in Soldier Field. And, now we got retail and beers and
Ogilvy.
Ogles.
Just learned that this morning.
Yeah, you know, and it was very much like we were ready to leave time out and we wanted another spot, and Ogilvy like fell in our laps, and
That is
amazing.
excellent.
Yeah.
And like
I need to be wandering around. I didn't know. I didn't know it was there because I go the same way every time. I'm just trying to get to my fucking train. But no, I'll dilly dally.
Yeah. You know, that's where the gumbo at.
you don't have to pay delivery fees.
I'm all right. That's what I'm saying. Now I'm thinking about it like I could do this. I could leave a little bit earlier and eat on my way to Naperville now.
Yes.
There you go.
Don't have to bring anything for anyone.
It's like
The evidence will be gone
secured.
before I even get off the train.
Yeah.
Just like no one has to know.
Listen,
How would they know?
you know, travels well. So can you both talk a little bit about how you named your business?
Yeah, so we had Feast and Imbibe in the beginning. And that was, you know, I was the sommelier at that time, and, you know, he was the chef, and we wanted both aspects. We were the only underground dinner club that was focusing on doing a pairing, and we wanted that to be a part of it. We really wanted a name like Food and Wine, but that was clearly taken.
You're like trademark,
Right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Did they pop off with that though? Do you think they popped off with it?
I don't know.
I don't think so either.
I have no idea.
Food and Wine. Come on.
Right?
I mean,
Marketing team.
it's a thing.
You know, so we had Feast and Imbibe, and then, you know, we had this like to-go menu. It was so chef-driven, Feast and Imbibe. We always needed a chef on site. So as more people wanted drop off and things like that, we had this like menu that was like, if you knew, you knew. And it wasn't like advertised. And so around like 2015, we like separated it out as a brand. We're like, this has to be something separate.
Right.
It's not Feast and Imbibe. It doesn't even seem right when, you know, it's called that. So we have to have like a separate logo and a separate invoice or something. And so we wanted to keep the ampersand. We wanted to have it connect to Feast and Imbibe in some way.
Yeah. So then we, you know, the type of food we was doing was like, you know, like soulful food and smoked meats. So we just went along with like soul and smoke.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the mac and cheese like always, you know, been there from the start.
Yeah.
You know, it got
That mac
leveled
and
up over the
cheese got
years.
me in a chokehold.
It's
Goddamn.
It's crazy right now. I mean, man, it's insane. It make me proud. You know?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, you know, that was the name. You know, we was, you know, doing cornbread, you know.
Also a sleigh.
Yeah. And we weren't
mac and
doing, oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying I was just connecting like the soul and smoke, you know,
Yeah.
the soul and smoke.
Yeah, because we weren't doing like heavy barbecue the way we are now, but we had a smoker. We were doing, I want to say brisket and pulled pork at the time.
Yeah, we was just really getting into the brisket, but the pulled pork always been there.
Pulled pork has always been there. And,
Yeah.
you know, we always did comforting foods. We wanted the soul in there. Yeah.
The greens.
The greens.
The collard, we wasn't even doing. That's when we first started.
Yeah.
You know, after I say that like the menu really got leveled up, like really like as Feast and Imbibe was literally, you know, being dismantled because of COVID, and you know we went through our solar smoke phase with, you know, not even like phase, but you know the stepping stone to like where we are today as far as like, you know, helping out. We started out helping our community. You know, we hooked up with Royal Central Kitchen. We started, you know, passing out food pretty much to the whole Chicago. You know, it got to a point where we was doing like 1,000, you know, meals a day. You know, pre-packed. You know, that's what really kept the business afloat during COVID. And then once COVID started to die down, we was like, okay, cool. People falling in love with this. People like, yo, where have you guys been?
Yeah.
You know, the general population, they really didn't know. That was like a big thing. I remember going through like that mental stage as well, you know, being a caterer versus, you know, being like a restaurant, you know, chef, because restaurant, you know, you can get the general pop, they can just walk in
Gen
out the
pop.
blue.
Yes.
But with catering, you got to be invited to the party. If you don't work there, you're not trying soul and smoke. If you're not invited to the wedding, you don't know what the cigar tastes like. You don't know what none of our food tastes like unless you was invited. But with a restaurant, you just say, yo, I feel like eating some ribs. Let me stroll on my phone. Let me see where I want to go.
Yeah.
Well, this
You
is
know,
the
it's just
thing.
totally different.
That's the thing, though,
yeah.
especially with like soul food or just like anything that people would look at as ethnic food, I am so distrustful on like Grubhub and stuff. And I feel like whenever I want barbecue, I'm always like, I don't want to like order something and then be fucking disappointed that it's not good. And I fear that I had seen Soul and Smoke like on Grubhub, but I'm like, I don't know you. And then the John Bonchet Awards, I was like, I've been denying myself this entire time.
Yeah.
And I could have known sooner. But I think that
It's hard ordering from somewhere new.
yes, I'm distrustful. I've been burned too many times. That's like when I go to, and I'm not someone that looks at menus either before I go to a restaurant. Like if I'm going to a new place, I'm like, all right, we're going. I like I know what your concept is, but like I don't want to know. I'm gonna find something on the menu. I'm gonna eat it. I'm not gonna complain about it. But I like that, like showing up and finding out about something for the first time. And I'm glad that I showed up and was like, "What you got going on over there?" And I ate it because it is good. Everyone should know about Soul and Smoke. Is this an ad? Is this going to be like a podcast episode that's just me being like, "Do it,
Could be.
eat it,
I was like,
get
yes.
it"?
Order from Soul and Smoke.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then like,
Yes.
hold on.
And so,
From Soul.
you know, we talked about the overall like foundation and conceptualization.
Wow.
My gosh.
Wow.
I know. Whew, my gosh. Anyhow, thank you, editing. We will figure that out. But so I'd like to hear a bit more, like, because it feels like you have like really like elevated and significant techniques with Soul and Smoke. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, man.
Obviously, don't give your secrets away.
No.
Yeah, so Soul and Smoke, my goal for Soul and Smoke is to be the face of barbecue here in Chicago. You know, I want when people like travel to Chicago, I want them to have a piece of Chicago, you know, and what's around us. You know, I can reference the mac and cheese, like all those cheeses coming from like Iowa and Wisconsin. You know, all my brisket is coming from Wisconsin. I got my pork is coming from Minnesota, which is considered still the Midwest, but it's the best quality pork, you know, that you can find out there. When I talk about like fine dining and what I'm doing, like what, you know, casual dining food, I really put a lot of thought in behind like all the steps, you know, from choosing the product to what kind of wood I'm using, to time and temperature, to technique, to execution.
It's the finesse of it all.
And if I just can say like a menu item that is like a total sleeper that you can only get in Evanston that showcase like all that thought is the pastrami. We got house-made pastrami.
It is good as hell.
And
it is
amazing.
Hell.
And it's made fresh, and it's, you know, I'm using prime grade beef, and we, you know, marinated for like 2 weeks. You know, I'm seasoning with a classic rub, and we smoking it over apple and hickory, and, you know, we wrapping it in butcher paper, and, you know, it's just like some of the best pastrami like you can find out there.
I'm crashing out.
But that's the, you know, like every step was like, you know, thought about. Even when we go to like the soulful sides, like the shrimp and grits, you know, the gumbo, like all those steps are traditional steps. We making that dark roux all out. We making all the stocks and everything is like made in house. Yeah, you know, for us to be described as Soul and Smoke with 4 locations, 2 food trucks, retail line, we still stand true to making the food.
That is nice. That's real nice.
Yes,
because I feel like
yes.
So
well said.
I am one of those people that like was openly skeptical when sous vide started to exist. Yeah. I was like, listen, I get it. It's you could use it to do some really cool stuff, but I feel like it stunts people from learning how they did it before. And then like with Instapots, people don't know what braising is. And like, so when people are doing things the way the Lord intended, it makes me happy because I'm like, I know that in certain situations it is perfect and amazing to use. I was gifted an Instapot and I do use it mostly for rice because I cannot
Heard.
cook rice anymore to save my life. Just regular, like a regular pot of rice. I'm like, it's like when I was in a kitchen and I kept burning toast. They're like, yeah, well, you're the chef. You're not meant to be toasting anything anymore. I'm like, it's brunch though.
You're like, am I losing this? Like,
I
what's
have
happening?
to not burn toast. Like, but I'm very appreciative of things that taste good and look good, and they don't have to like be intricate in any way. And I worked in fine dining for a decade, and I felt like some of the things that I loved cooking at home would never translate in the same way. Like, you get the flavor of it, but the experience of like dipping your fucking bread into your curry and it doesn't look cute on the plate, that made me feel a little sad sometimes. I'm like, it has to be what it is.
Yeah. That sounded like me making a transition from Feast and Bob to Soul and Smoke, because like with Feast and Bob, like I really loved it, and I really just wanted to prove that I'm one of the top chefs too.
You're
know,
capable,
like,
yeah.
But it was like always a struggle to, to design a dish and presentation. It was extra steps besides making it good, because you can get to that part.
I was bad at presentation.
It could
for
be
a long
made
time.
good,
yeah.
but then when you like now you got to work on the presentation. So you got the right color balance. Does it have the right height? How does
Do you
it
have
look?
layers?
Yeah. So that's
So it feels
like a
more
whole
like
different.
architectural.
With Soul and Smoke, go to the product, go to the technique. Is the execution right? The customers
The
appreciate
preparation
that.
is in a different area.
Yeah.
I feel like in fine dining, yes, you have to know where like everything's coming from, making sure you're getting the best of it. Presentation is key. But I think that sometimes people think that when you're not doing fine dining, you don't have to put as much care or integrity into the food. But it's like, to a chef, that's the love of it all. The like finding the best products, making sure that you are not only putting your best foot forward, but like this is something for everyone who's involved in it. So yeah, no, I respect that. Now it makes me feel better about all the money I spent. I'm paying for quality.
See?
Yeah, it's definitely quality. I take pride in all all my choices with what I'm serving to people.
Also, the coleslaw slaps. Just thought about that.
It really
Love
does.
it. Yeah.
Coleslaw. Yeah, that's a sleeper in my mind, because I'm like, man, it's such a simple thing, but customers like love it. I get feedback on coleslaw all the time.
Yes.
Like, what is going on? But
One time,
it is
y'all were
good.
out of the coleslaw and collard greens on the same day, and I was sad.
It's so funny because like, this is so off topic, but at
It's always on
Thanksgiving,
topic. Yeah, you're fine.
You're fine.
at Thanksgiving, we do all of these pre-orders. We do like 800 orders. It's absolute insanity.
Wow.
But in like all the locations have different like menu mixes, and in Evanston, we sold something like 60 gallons of coleslaw last year because like everyone was adding like a gallon of coleslaw to their order, or a half gallon of coleslaw,
Yeah.
just to have it with. Like
It's
it's
delicious.
the whole menu plus like the Thanksgiving stuff and
Yeah,
coleslaw. We sold so much coleslaw in Evanston, it blew my mind.
Because it is delicious.
Yeah.
I'm so serious.
Right. Noriba's like, don't be shocked. Okay. I also need to get this coleslaw. because I've
My
not had it
litmus
yet.
test for places is coleslaw and corned beef hash.
I love
If you,
corned beef hash.
if you have corned beef hash on the menu, I'm gonna order that. I'm not even looking at anything else. And if that is well done, not well done, but like done well,
Yeah. Done well. Yeah.
pop off. Coleslaw, if you have a shitty coleslaw,
Yeah.
people are always like, it's a throwaway item. No,
No.
respect cabbage.
real.
What? No, and then also super quick, I would love to hear like how has your process been as well, just on through the former concept and the former platform, with how you're approaching cuisine through wine, because whenever people hear about beverage pairings, wines, it always kind of like feels the same. So I think it's really important for us to hear how your approachability was with it as well.
Yeah, with Feast and Imbibe, I felt like I had a bigger role. There was a lot more bars and beverage programs. As we got into catering, people started wanting to like provide their own alcohol, and we just bartended and things like that. But with private dinners, we always tried to still push the beverage pairings.
Yeah.
You know, and then I kind of considered myself a retired sommelier for a while. I also was pregnant for a really long time, and DeAndre started making our cocktails during that time because I was a little out of it. But as we've gone back, and now Soul and Smoke is what it is, all of our locations have liquor licenses.
Okay.
Ogilvy is still selling, beer, wine, cocktails, things like that. But we've been doing wine in a can because we're so carry out right now.
Yeah.
And as we open the new restaurant, I'm taking back that sommelier title.
Yeah, I was just about to get into that because it's a good transition into, Heather's coming back into picking the wines and, the beverages and, playing a big role into that as our new emphasis. So guys, we pretty much just get into the drink. We just get into the drink.
Wow.
We started this in 2013. It's 2025. We consider this like our first restaurant. Everything else was like a pivot during pandemic, and we wanted to be
survival
excellent.
mode.
Yeah.
At that.
We're still in
we
it.
wanted to be excellent at that, though.
When are we not in survival mode? Let's be real.
So now, during that whole process, we end up purchasing our building. Half of it was an event space. When the COVID happened, it kind of went away, and this probably when I had the one that I see her itching the mic to really describe this.
I was like, get into it. You're okay.
So the pandemic happened and events disappeared.
Yeah.
And we started feeding the community. Our team was really important to us. We had gone through a lot personally. January, February of 2020. And when the pandemic happened, it was we are not furloughing our team. They need to stay here with us. We need them. And we were committed to keeping everybody on staff. And so we started feeding the community. We had no real plan. We posted to the community, we're doing 20 meals a day. If people want to contribute, great. And they did. They showed up and showed out before the schools were even closed. This was a fast reaction. There was a lot of talk in the Facebook groups, how, if the Evanston schools close, how are we feeding the kids? We're in the historic 5th Ward in Evanston. We're we can feed the kids. They can come here. Families can pick up food, done. The Evanston Community Foundation ended up picking us up and giving us grants that, kept the program going for months and months and months. And it was amazing and a wonderfully fulfilling experience during the pandemic. We ended up doing over 250,000 meals. From March of 2020 till about, I want to say the beginning of 21 almost. And
I don't want to forget, the Trotter Project too was played a big role during the pandemic. So that was our main big three, the Trotter Project, Evanston Community Foundation, and World Central Kitchen. They was our partners through the whole thing.
But at the same time, in the back of our minds, we never knew when this funding was going to go away. It was coming monthly. We would find out how many meals we got. And so we always had this well, what are we going to do next? Events were still really stuck at
Wait, hold on. Max, one part of the audio dropped off in my ear. So I don't know what that means. Just my right ear? I don't know if that's a foot thing or something. Yeah. Under?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Only on one side, but maybe it's just this cord thing and we're fine.
No,
hold on.
I think it just came back. Maybe.
You come back?
Are y'all here?
There it is. Yeah.
All right, great.
Okay.
All right, wonderful.
I just didn't know if that affects the audio, so I wasn't sure. Okay,
Nope.
never mind.
Please continue. Yes.
Okay. Someone told me where I
The
was.
grants, you didn't know when they were going to stop.
We didn't know when they were going to
month to
end.
month.
So, we always were trying to figure out what was going to come next. Events were still really limited. I think they were limited at the end of 2020 to 40 people could be in an event together.
Yeah.
When you're setting up an event from scratch, there's minimums and a certain amount of staff that need to be there. And events were getting really expensive and people couldn't meet the price that it was a lot.
Yeah.
So we were always trying to figure out what was coming next. We did the Evanston Farmers Market in the summer of 2020 with Soul and Smoke, and that was really great. We bought our first food truck. You know, we loved having that. But then as the season ended and as restrictions went back into place, it was like, okay, you know, now what? How do people get our food? We had lowered minimums so people could place orders, but like they needed to give us like a day or two's notice.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were struggling with that, and we were really naive, and we're just like, we're going to open.
Were you prepping from the restaurant? Were you like prepping all of this food like at the restaurant? Like where?
Yeah, we had our catering commissary kitchen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So we bought the building in February of 2020.
Okay.
Which was huge. I mean, we had been renting it for about 6 years. Our landlord offered to sell it to us. She was looking to like get out of the real estate game.
Yeah.
And she offered to sell us the building, and it took us like a year and a half to secure the financing for it. And she was patient and stayed the course with us, which we are
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's real
so
nice.
incredibly thankful for.
She gave us
Incredible.
first right of refusal, like learning about you know what that means, and we
Yeah.
understood that. We was very grateful, you know, first right of she giving us first dibs on the building before, because it could have been
Put out there. Yeah.
she
Yeah.
could have sold us to anybody. They were like, okay, we don't want this concept. We go do something else with the building. You guys got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And, you know, we don't even know if we'd be sitting here right now.
That's belief.
Yeah.
That is belief.
Yeah, like losing
you know,
our kitchen would have been devastating. Like we couldn't lose our kitchen, and the fact that she was willing to sell it to us and be patient with us was everything. You know, her father had passed away, and I am sure she needed to sell it within the calendar year for whatever closing estates and things like that. And she was patient. And
it's a big build. It's a 10,000 square foot building we own now.
Yeah.
So when we first bought it, we had 3 tenants. So it's big. We ended up knocking down our event space to build this restaurant. But when we first bought it, we thought we were going to make our event space bigger. We thought we were like going all in on catering. So
You're like scale.
yeah, yeah. You know, and it was a great event space.
Yeah.
You know, we can do like 150 maybe, but that was really pushing it. So being able to like make the event space bigger, we really wanted like a 250 person event space. But that didn't happen. We started doing takeout out of our commissary kitchen, and you know, we had a big metal door, and you know, it just is what it was. And we started just doing takeout out of that, and we called it ordering on demand. We didn't even realize we were opening our first restaurant. And
That's how they get you.
right?
Yeah.
But you know, takeout really popped off. People were really enjoying it. You know, first day we got like 2 orders. The team was laughing, but like that second day, man, it was like cranking, and it happened fast and furiously.
Yeah, we was all to the races. Then you know, we was like, oh, you know, that's when we learned that if you didn't live like within a 3 to 5 mile radius, you know,
it doesn't come up.
Yeah, you won't be able to try food. So it's like, this ghost kitchen thing is like, you know, coming to Chicago. You know, they say it's very minimum, you know, finance that you need, whatever. So we got into the Avondale Ghost Kitchen and the South Loop.
The South Loop, and we were uniquely set up for it because we had our delivery van still and our warehouse team. So you know, we set up deliveries every day where we were delivering fresh meat and fresh product. But barbecue's uniquely set up for that as well, because you want the meat. It's a lot of prep, and you want the meat to, you know, you want to take it out, you want it to rest, you want it, you know, that travel time. So then if we're cutting meat in Evanston at 5 o'clock at night, it's the same meat they're cutting in Avondale, and that worked out well. And because it was the heart of the pandemic, the ghost kitchen model made a lot more sense than it might make outside of the pandemic, where it was what we had, and coming to the ghost kitchens and just being handed food, like it was on par with what restaurants were able to do at the time.
But it also connected dots. So it's also, you know, at nighttime, you know, you can get food from Wilmette all the way to 45th and King Drive. You can order Soul and Smoke. So if you heard about us, and that's when we started getting like a little bit of publicity. I know we got our
the Chicago Tribune.
Oh, when that thing hit, it was crazy. That changed everything.
Nick Kindlesberger.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Yes. Nick.
So
So, and he had actually tried us at the Avondale Ghost Kitchen and called us up, and we were the first review post-pandemic, or post-pandemic in quotes. So he had called us up to what we thought was an article about the ghost kitchen opening. You know, we truly didn't know, and you know, he was talking about the food and we're telling him the story and he's like, oh, this makes so much sense why I hadn't heard of you guys. We're like, yeah, we're just like in pandemic pivot mode and we just need, you know, to keep on expanding and keep on trying to replace the revenue that we're losing by events being canceled.
Right.
And so we had opened all these locations and, you know, and he texted me maybe a couple weeks later. He's like, sorry, it hasn't run yet. I'm saving it for something bigger. And then a week later, they got announced as the reviewers. Later that night, I realized what was happening. The very next morning, the review dropped.
Yeah, and I
Shut up.
DeAndre was out of town. He was at our co-packer trying our sauce for the last time. I was in town.
Yeah.
He had went with Sarah, who runs our life and helps us run Soul and Smoke, and they were together at the co-packers. And I'm like reading them this review, and you know, and it was phased. The first day it dropped, it was only online. You know, and then Wednesday it goes to print, and so like. We were getting like busier and busier. The ghost kitchens were like insane. And by the weekend, the machine just wouldn't stop.
The machine wouldn't stop. I remember having to turn, because that was our first time, like, you know, just
turning off deliveries.
No, just experiencing that whole
Right,
fucking rush. It was like people was talking about. They always talk about
the bear. That scene in the bear where he's like fired 226 chicken sandwiches. Like that was our life for real.
Never.
Like it was insane.
The ticket machine just wouldn't stop, and we would turn it off. And a day and a half later, turn it back on, and it would just start again. It was like we had been a secret, and now everybody knew that we existed, and it was wild.
It was crazy,
and we weren't ready for it. I'm sure we pissed a lot of people off. We had lines upon lines upon lines.
We was all. It was like, man, you guys, we got to calm down. You know,
but it felt empowering or stressful, all of the above.
All of the above.
It was almost mixed in once. It was stressful. It was like stressful. You was happy that people even like want to like, you know, because you like, we like chefs, you know, you were just happy that people wanted like what you was making, you know, and like something that you put pride into, you know.
And the team instantly felt like they were part of something that was happening. That was like exciting. Like there was so much energy behind it.
But I mean, you already had that like logistics, like infrastructure in place.
Right? I mean, we closed the ghost kitchens though. When the reviews dropped, the ghost kitchens closed. We brought everybody to Evanston because like Evanston was still busier than everywhere else. And we didn't have enough staff to staff the ghost kitchens as heavily as they needed to be staffed at that time. But then the review had dropped, but we had already agreed to move South Loop Ghost Kitchen into Timeout Market. So that was already like in the process of happening.
And then we was already doing food truck events at Rockwell on the River. So then they asked us to move in there.
Yeah, so we were able to quickly get rid of the ghost kitchens, and then we took over, you know, kind of the hallway spot in Rockwell on the River.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're at because you're across the street from some of our homies.
Oh, at Guild Row.
So Guild Row is also the homies, but specifically Margaret and Vano. Yes. So, and it's funny because I was helping out with a pop-up at Guild Row, and Margaret had popped by after they were doing a pop-up at Honey Butter Fried Chicken, and it was hilarious because when I was leaving, I was just like, okay, like I'm here at Guild Row. I see that too. And I see you all. It's just like, you know, there are certain instances to where like you really see just like the culture of the community like in practice.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was like for a moment, right? Because I was like, you know, putting things into my colleague's truck, and then we were gone. I was like, you know, we have to come back over here. He's like, oh yeah, we're good. We're gonna come back over here. I was just like, no, we need to go over there. I was like, we need to go over there. I was like, we've been over there, but we're going over here now. You know, so it's really beautiful to see.
It's a cute little, you know, area that's kind of developed, like this like artist community and the dance studio, and it's a cute little hidden gem in Chicago.
Yeah, and also I just want to say on my end, because people that are listening to this, because we have discussed the pandemic, pterosaur, we've called it so many different things. Okay, the ponderosa, just like all of the things during our, kind of like
pandemic era.
Yeah, right. And it's really important for people to hear about not only the impact of the pandemic, but also the pivoting and how that can be sustainable, the resilience of it all, the dedication, the navigation, all of those things, because those are the things that you can't forecast. You're like, okay, well, if this were to happen, we would do this. If this is going to happen, then we have to do this. But when everything just kind of puts you in a whirlwind, you're like, okay, what do we do? And looking at the both of you is like the coolest fucking thing. Honestly.
Bless you.
Honestly, like it's so empowering. Like it's like I'm just proud of y'all. I am. I just think like it's just.
Yeah, man. We felt we believed in what we was doing. We felt committed to our team, our employees. We still self-funded. There's no one helping us like financially. We felt responsible. We was just employees as well. We was not too long ago. Working at restaurants, and I had to spend some time. I don't know if you want to talk about the wine spot.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Yeah. But,
spend time in a wine shop.
Yeah. But no, I was just like, just those timestamps, and that was one of my things as an intern, like at Moto, just remembering like how intense it was. So when I became sous chef, what helped me be a better leader was always
literally no one has those thoughts. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
because
you should never forget. You should never forget.
Where you came from.
Yeah.
Don't forget those those feelings and that experience, because time goes on. It's gonna be somebody else. It's gonna be they first day working here. What is it like them being nervous, being scared? They really want to do good. Mistakes happen. Tell them like how to learn from a mistake versus like, yo, this shit, what the fuck is you doing? Like this is why that messed up. This is this is what you should do next time.
This is why you do it this way.
Yeah. And it's the same thing, coming from, us owning our own business. We know how I feel to be an employee as well. So we felt like very committed and dedicated. We wasn't like experienced owners where if it's not mathing out, if the math don't math,
right.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
Right.
It was really hard for us to do that.
Yeah, so you're not commodifying your community.
It's crazy when like people that own businesses have actually worked in that field, and then they like bring the knowledge that they have from working in that field to the ownership of it versus like someone who has no idea what they're doing and they're like, I'm going to open a restaurant. Yeah. We're going to play accountant today. Like what?
Because that's all they just putting their money in. They don't have no idea like what's going on.
No.
Right.
No, and when the math doesn't math, it's so often that the answer is, well, then we have to downsize. And said, if the math doesn't math, sometimes you just have to figure out how to make more money.
I love that when you were like, the review dropped and we just like closed the ghost kitchens, brought everyone back to home base. And I was like, yeah. Instead of being like, okay, this is our moment. We got to like go all out, open up a million more things.
Okay,
like when I got the fucking Reader article about Trini Zaddy, panicked. Immediately panicked. I'm like, I don't have the facility to be making like the amount of sauce that people fucking wanted. And also like, I didn't want to do that. This was like my survival in the pandemic. Like, what can I do? I can sell hot sauce. But like, I feel like most people want to, thank you. Most people just want to like go hard and go home. And I'm like, no, let's like, make a list, look at it. Is it going to translate right? What are the risks? I feel like people don't do that in the hospitality industry because they think that if there's a space for it, it can exist. But I feel like as someone who has worked at many places, start to finish, you see how badly things can go if you aren't being smart about your decisions.
I mean, because a lot of it is intentionality paired with strategy.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and it's definitely a labor-driven industry, and labor is expensive. And
Yeah. Well, people are
Yeah.
going to learn that real soon.
Right.
Because we got 2 more years left.
Oh, God.
Before
Don't give me
allegedly
years.
we don't have tip. No, this is the 3rd summer. So after this summer, it's 2 more. The tips going away. Yeah. Allegedly. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it.
But then I'll also say that, like, just back to the, like, intentionality paired with strategy, it's just like your intention is to be an anchor and a resource and a point of overall, like, equity with your employees, contributors, collaborators, vendors, all of that. If that's your anchor, you both have demonstrated brilliant strategy into how that is all.
It's a priority.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like just becomes ingrained.
You don't have to fake it if you're living it.
Yeah, like the
love
goal
that.
is now, like, you know, we got a community fridge right outside our building right now. That's how we, you know, continue to like help people post the COVID pandemic. So we want to continue to give back. Our plan for our employees now is like, yo, Soul and Smoke is cool, it's good, it's only getting better and better. We do want more locations. Hey, we gonna set up a program where one day you guys can own your own Soul and Smoke. You know, that's the future for Soul and Smoke. That's the way Heather and I kind of like vision it to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're excited about it. It's a lot of building, though. Like, we don't have all the infrastructure built out yet.
No, it's okay.
But we're definitely working on, you know, this leadership development program where you find your path to, you know, becoming a leader in Soul and Smoke and working your way towards it, and then being able to have your own location where you have ownership in it, and you know, that is your baby.
Yeah.
My brain literally did the glitch in the Matrix because I just watched One of Those Days.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's with SZA and
Kiki Palmer.
And Kiki Palmer is...
Oh, I did see this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's like going to like...
Do you remember we watched it on the couch?
She's like going to the job.
Like, what are you
With
guys talking
SZA
about?
and Kiki Palmer. It was the movie like on Netflix.
She's
Yeah,
like
I was
going to
thinking
the
it's
job.
on Netflix.
She's going to the job interview so that she could like potentially own her own or like run her own diner spot or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like the whole thing. And I'm like, as we were talking, I was like, franchising. Yes. Kiki Palmer. Maybe. That's the ADHD. It's
Right.
it's in my brain.
You know, we went through like this idea of franchising, and obviously we've seen that McDonald's movie
Yeah.
where like, you know, the idea of selling a location to somebody who just puts money into it and we have to trust the stranger, like that doesn't feel good. We have a great team that, you know, works really hard every day, and they've grown with us and build with us, and them having a location where
That
like
makes sense.
that makes sense. And so like how to do that and how to have a clear path towards it too also
Right.
matters. Like people want to know how to get there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And if you have that sort of like integrated into your training system already, when you like bring new people in and you're like, all right, like this is what it's like working here. And at every step of them moving forward, they're learning what it takes to run all that. That's the main thing. Like
Yeah.
learning all of the ins and outs, because I didn't know nothing about spreadsheets until I was a sous chef. I'm like, y'all be ordering shit back here? That's crazy. What are you doing?
You're like, how'd that happen? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I like that.
So one of the things that I'm really curious about is through all of the pivoting, all of the growth, all of the things, right? So I would like to hear a bit about how do you take care of yourselves? You know, because that's a very real
Sure.
thing.
Yeah. You know, there's not a ton of time in every day. You know, we stay pretty busy, but,
Yeah.
you know, we've definitely found the things that work for us, and finding things that fit our time and the time that we have has been really important.
Yeah, we, you know, like, I think my favorite part of the day is like going home, hanging out with my kids, you know.
Yeah.
We work, you know, we got enough staff where we not at the restaurant like all day, you know, like every day. In the beginning, you know, our first 7 years, you know, we didn't take not one day off, no vacations, no nothing. It was just, you know, work. You know, it became, you know, waking up and just feeling like, you know, you just got to get things done. It became sort of like a lifestyle. We woke up, we take care of the kids, we take care of the restaurant. Is everything okay? And then you can go home, you know, probably watch an hour of TV, play around with the kids, and then, you know, go to bed. But
Can we talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's something that I personally struggle with in regards to overall like balancing and because responsibilities are real, consequences are real, you know, ambition is one hell of a thing. So I would just leave. I would just leave it at that.
Will drive you.
Yeah, exactly.
Drive you.
So it's like, especially for our listeners, and I feel like consumers as well, to be like, okay, you have built such a sustainable business. How do you also ensure that you are sustainable throughout as well? And I understand the like downtime, but then if we could talk a little bit about like, what are your practices now to ensure that, you know, rest, decompression, all of the things that I know Nariba is going to be like, the things that you need to be doing, you know,
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have...
Thanks for calling yourself out.
Of course.
You know, I think that we both have the things that like that we enjoy doing, that we find the time for. You know, we're big king spa addicts for like one. Like, I think anyone in the industry needs to be taking more. You know,
the food court slaps too,
right? Like, but you could also like be going to a bar after service, or you could go there because it's always open.
Right.
So like things like that have been really pivotal for us.
Smart.
And me
right?
I like that.
Yeah.
And then one other thing I was going to say is that like, you know, when we were new parents, like our kids were in the restaurant with us every single day.
Yeah.
And that was also something that made it really sustainable and really better for, I think, our hearts, our souls. Like we had a break, the kids were downstairs.
Yeah.
You know, as we've been through construction right now, we kind of had to kick them out, and now they're in school, so it's different. But you know, they grew up in the building. Our kids, Sarah, who I've mentioned runs our life, her son was there too every day with them. So like they grew up together, and they had that experience where they are 100% restaurant kids. There was reach-ins in their playrooms, and you know, they used to help like unload the big Cisco orders.
Listen, we're going back to when people had children for labor, okay? I respect it. Yeah, they need to learn things. Whenever I see a kid with an iPad for too long, I'm like, who's in charge of you?
You're like,
go outside.
Right?
You're like, go run through some grass now.
Our oldest says she's going to work in the kitchen and in the office. She's training for Master Chef Junior.
Oh my God.
So
we making eggs every morning and bacon and cracking and separating the yolks and stuff like that.
But that's also led me to like another follow-up question, and feel free to answer it however you would like. Would you like your kids to be in the hospitality industry?
I would.
Yeah, whatever they want to do.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever they want.
Everyone has a different answer. Everyone has a different answer.
I was at one restaurant. We did like this collab for this very, you know, big restaurant group here in Chicago, and I'm there. I'm excited to be working with this restaurant group, and I'm back there. It was the But anyway,
I don't even know what he's talking about.
But you know, you bring up the kids, and I was talking to another chef, and he was, you know, I think it was a Friday or a Saturday night, so they, you know, they turn it up. You can feel the energy around you building up, and then you see the chef, you know, he flustered, you know, in a way, and I'm like, chef, you cool? You know, because I'm done with I can help you. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm watching the dish, and I just like start hopping in. but he's like, man, this shit is like stressful. He's like, man, I barely get enough time like to hang out with my kids. He's like, my kids would never like be in the industry. He's just like very, I don't know. I think I feel like I just
that's why I asked.
Yeah, it's different perspectives. It's different perspectives. You know, from us, you know, we, you know, start off as, you know, cooks, chefs, you know, small, you know, our table in our apartment was like 8 seats where people, you know, come dine in, and then we meeting all these different people. And, you know, the flip side of how you look at it kind of like changed, and it kind of rewarded. And I was going to houses like, yo, I want a house like this one day, you know? Like, you know, I was serving, like, the ambition like grew more and more, you know? And I was like, yo, I want the best for my kids. Our kids go to a really good school, you know, they dine out with us, you know, they palate is way more advanced than mine ever was at their age, you know?
For real.
They very into it, but at the end of the day, it's about what they want to do. You know, if they want to do what their mom and dad, you know, they see what their mom and dad is doing. We walk them through the construction. We show them how walls get put up. We show them how dishes get made. We show them, you know, everything that we can see. Yeah, everything. Like, you know, we want them to get the full scope of what's like going on, like right now, while you guys kids. You know, because we know the importance of it. We know that this building is, you know, ours, and one day it's going to be theirs, and we invest in all this time and all.
You should
this
Lion
money.
King them. Yeah. Just like hold them up across the street and be like, everything that's in this building
could be yours.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, that's the motive, you know, and I used to just think, you know, and this goes to like me thinking about my kids, you know, a lot, you know, like the goal was like to really like, you know, build up something like to pass on to them. And then, you know, it got bigger than just like my family. It got, you know, once I started seeing the kids, you know, getting out of school, walking past the building, and they never seen, so I'm like, man, these kids, you know, come up in here. You guys ever seen, you know, a brisk, you know how, you know, to cut against the grain? You ever seen like this, you know, they tore up our floor, you know, this is a restaurant that's getting built, you know, this is like a small business in the community at the end of the day. And we didn't have that in my community. The only small business I had was that liquor store that was on the corner, you know, and this neighborhood that I'm in Evanston, you know, we got a restaurant, we got a brewery, we got a car wash, we got, you know, a renovation place. We got like a dog place. We got like all these small businesses in this one neighborhood. Like these kids are like destined for growth, you know, just because of the environment that they in. You know, all these small shops, you know, which I think is very, very important, because growing up it was always you want what you see. You know, I was playing bingo no steals on cars. You get what I'm saying? Like, I see that car, bingo no steals. You can't even like dibs that one. That's mine. It's not none of ours. You know, it's imagination play. You know, but yeah, that's one thing I really like about being in the neighborhood that we're in.
And I think that's, you know, a lot of why we chose to build the restaurant where we're building it now. Where it's been a much bigger project. We very well could have 2 years ago, when everything was blowing up, found a second generation space somewhere in downtown Evanston and built there. But we're right now where we're located, where our catering kitchen has been, is, you know, in Evanston's historic 5th Ward. It's the historic Black neighborhood in Evanston that has suffered from redlining and disinvestment. And building there became important. And staying in the community and staying right there and seeing that as success happens, it can happen right here in the neighborhood. Exactly. You know, Evanston has a reparations program that is the first in the country, but it's designed to fix the harm of redlining that occurred in our neighborhood. And so being a part of that, and being, you know, so Robinson Bus Company is who sold us the building. They were the largest Black-owned bus company that was very much created to bus the students from the 5th Ward into the white schools and desegregate them.
God damn.
And that was the creation of their company. And, you know, our building is the old bus depot. And it's just...
Shut up.
Throw it out.
What? You know, yes. So it's...
That's history, baby.
Right? And it's meant a lot to us, and for the kids to see it and to stay in that community has been everything.
Okay.
We love when people come out there and see, like, you know, we spend a lot of time in the city, but when people like finally get a chance to come to Evanston and see, like, you know, to see it in real life, they be like, just can't believe it. They take us up a whole block. It's a whole block. You know, it's a building that takes up a block, and we're like, man, this is massive. What do you guys got going on?
Yeah, you guys have to come out. It's a very cool operation. So our current catering kitchen has stayed untouched. It's not part of the restaurant. We are expanding it to add more walk-ins and a very cool blast chiller and like expanding the
Look how excited he is. Look how excited he is. She said blast chiller and he's like ear to ear.
Right. So we're expanding the ability to do that. We'll have a bottling line over there as well. So we'll be able to bottle our own sauces now in-house. But then the restaurant is a completely separate kitchen, a completely separate smoker room that we just built. And that'll be on the other side of the building. So like the whole thing as a whole, like it's going to be impressive. But we've been under construction for so long, and we're so close to finally opening.
I can see you being so excited, but at the same time, you're like, hold on. We got to be real about this. It's still going to take time. It's happening.
It's happening.
Yes.
So like every day.
Every day.
Yes.
Everything got more expensive, obviously, the world we're living in. We struggled during permitting, had a lot of problems with that, had to add things that we weren't anticipating. So all of that took time. We had to refinance the building.
Are you comfortable talking about that?
What?
Are you comfortable talking about that?
Permitting?
Like issues with permitting? If not, it's entirely okay. I'm just.
Yeah.
Can I guess?
I'm just
Can
curious.
I make a guess?
I'm just curious.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is it a situation where like you come in and they're like, okay, these are the permits that you need, and then you start doing stuff, and then you realize that like for a patio you need two different permits, is my understanding? Like you need one to actually have the patio and then one for anything you're going to build on the patio. Is it shit like that?
Yeah, I mean, it so we had a kitchen in our event space, and we're like, oh, well, this will be, easy. We're just gonna like
The kitchen.
But they made us move the hood because it was too close to the neighbor. And then by moving the hood, we had to reinforce the ceiling. And then because we moved the hood, now we need to install a sprinkler system. But because we need to install a sprinkler system, we need to replace the water main because it's not strong enough for the sprinkler system.
That's how they do.
Wow.
And then it just like ballooned. So we ended up refinancing the building. That took it took a long time of like fighting the permitting.
Yeah.
And then when we finally gave up fighting, we had to refinance the building, and that took like another year and a half.
Wow.
So the building has been refinanced. Where all systems go, but it's going a little slow.
You were talking and my hand literally started sweating.
It's been a lot, but we're really excited, and because
dedication to it all.
It's worth
Absolutely
it. It's going to be worth it.
commendable.
It is already worth
Wow.
it. It's going to continue to be worth
right?
it.
We just had to reconcept a little. Like as time took long, we were able to change things. We were originally going to have a more traditional barbecue line that you go through, and we got rid of the counter. We added more seats because we lost some seats with the sprinkler system. We have a giant fire closet now where we had a whole bunch of seats. So we got rid of the counter,
but that's important because y'all be smoking. Stuff in there.
We were able to elevate it and kind of change the concept a little. We were going to have a separate speakeasy that maybe in a year or two we were going to open, and instead we're going to have this really exciting dinner menu. So we'll have our all-day barbecue menu that'll be indicative of what you have at Avondale and what you have in the West Loop and what you have in the food truck.
And then at night, feasting and vibe.
Yeah, a little sprinkle. We'll have a really sexy dinner menu, and have the vibes shift from night to day. So during the day, we're going to have, classic R&B music, and we have these huge skylights, and it's light and bright. And then at night, it gets dark and moody and more like early 2000s hip hop. And
you're talking about Tuesdays and Thursdays at work with Reba.
And also 7 days a week with Justin.
Perfect.
So, I will tell you off mic what I was listening to this morning.
Why can't you say right now?
Because we don't have a license for me to mention it, and if I mention it, I'm gonna sing it. So.
Oh, you can mention it, but you can't sing it.
Nah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. So
we're too poor for that.
Listen, it was a Tevin Campbell vibe, so it is what it is at this point. Okay. So for those that know, and also if y'all don't know, figure it out. So it's out.
And then you have to, once you figure it out, you got to do 25 Drew Hills immediately. Thank you.
Yes, very much that. So, my friends, we were coming up on time.
Did you like it? Did you like hanging out with us?
How was your time with us?
Man, it was so cool.
I could have stayed there for another hour.
That is what happens.
Yeah.
It's a time warp in here.
Can I give a shout out to our kids, Max and Corey? Because I know one day they
Hey,
Max and Corey.
Hi, Max and Corey.
We love you guys.
Yes.
Hey, girls.
Well, obviously, we're welcoming y'all to the TOS fam. And also, Max and Corey, too. Come on down. You know?
They're going to be pissed. They weren't here. They like going everywhere. They went to Beyonce for 2 nights. Well, actually, only the older one went 2 nights. The younger one only went 1 night. But, yeah. Like, we bring them to festivals. We bring them everywhere. Yeah.
Casual.
Yeah, they did Lollapalooza, Billie Eilish. Yeah. We were in VIP.
And okay, this is what I'm going to say though. When I was a kid, my dad would take me everywhere with him because he was a photographer and a journalist. So there's literal pictures of me like passed out in a Pooh Bear like nightgown on his shoulder as he's like getting images of whatever festival or whatever we're at. And I think because I went to so many things as a kid, I'm an indoor cat. I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do it. It's too loud.
Funny.
There's too many people. No.
Oh my God, they're always like, why are you going without us? Why can't kids come?
You're like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I'm coming. Like, what are you saying?
When kids come into the bar, I'm like, I'm gonna be your friend. If you have a baby, I'm gonna try to hold it. I'm not gonna lie. I've been very successful. Like,
you're like, I have a high success rate.
100% is where I'm at currently. I'm like, listen.
You're like, here we go.
Let me hold that fresh baby. I'm gonna show it where we wash dishes and where we keep the alcohol.
You're like, I'm just so
yeah. Then I realized I probably shouldn't bring a baby behind the actual physical bar.
No.
But I'm like, if you are passing me your baby, I'm gonna take it. Yeah.
Very, very fair.
Love kids. They're the best version of all the humans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even when they're between the ages of 8 and 13 where they think they know everything, and I'm like, I'll fight you. I still like them better than an adult human being. But y'all are cool.
Thanks.
Yes, you're cool. You guys cool too. For sure. And we love being right. Coming, back to the West Loop on Fulton Market. While we, first got here, we just stared across the street for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's where Moto was at. Right there.
And it's even more than that's where Moto was at, which is very much what it is. But when Moto was there was nothing else.
Nothing.
Literally.
Nothing. Yeah.
We
So
would
it's kind of, it's like this weird mind fuck, right? Like,
we would take a cast iron pan with rosemary and garlic and scent the front porch because it smelled like blood.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Because they were butchered.
It was an active meatpacking district.
Yeah.
And if Omar could see it today, he would lose his mind because he knew and he didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what it is now.
For sure. Always give me the chills coming back because I'm like, yo, we was here in 2007, 8, 9. It was nothing over here.
Yeah.
We was the
Even,
only restaurant on the block.
10 years ago, when I was like at Blackbird and something didn't get delivered properly from Publican, we'd like walk over, and there was still not that much over here.
No, and when Publican moved in, it was like a huge celebration. Like we were gonna have friends on the block. Even though it was like 4 blocks, but it was like we had friends.
You're like, I know where we're going.
Yes. I mean, Omar took you guys there opening day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Well, obviously this can keep going.
Yeah.
But it's the end.
Yeah. Well, it is not the end. It is only the beginning of a new chapter. So I was like, I will end it at that. But how do the people find you?
Yeah. How do
If
they
you want to be found?
We're always in Evanston, Avondale, and West Loop. We're in Soldier Field, section 312. We're on the club side.
312?
Yeah.
That's local, girl.
Right? The food truck's always out. You can find us on Instagram at Soul and Smoke and find out where the truck is during that week. We're pretty much everywhere all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So as you were saying that, I was like, wait, I have to go home and I have to order like stuff for pet supplies on Grubhub, but that means I have to wait until that gets there to order from Soul and Smoke.
You're like, that's what.
You can do 2 orders at a time.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to.
You just ruined my bank account.
Yeah.
God damn.
I will say you used to be able to order 2 Ubers at one time, but now you can only order 1 Uber at a time.
Yeah.
So it might change, but
I'd be competing between Uber and Lyft, so like it's just it's a fight to the death. I was just like, who wants this? I will pay $5 to cancel one of y'all. So it's fine. I was just like, it's time for me to go. So it's all good. Well,
what you got to do? What you got to say?
For me to do the things that I know that
that's what I just said.
Need to do.
I was introing you.
But I'm leaning into doing the thing. Thank you so very much, my friends, for joining us.
Coming all the way down here. Yeah.
Yes, and being a part of the TOS fam. I feel free to speak for everyone, like not just the people that are here physically, but then also the people that will be, handling all of the episodes and communication, promo, all of the things. Extremely grateful and so happy that we were able to make this happen.
Yep.
And I genuinely mean that. And I've been wanting to talk to y'all for so long, and so did we all wanted to. Yep. So thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Of course. And supreme shout out to our homies and partners at Blind Barber Chicago for hosting this necessary conversation. My name is Justin Arnett Graham, and you can find me on Instagram at thisisbiko, but also do not forget Terms of Service Podcast on Instagram, Terms of Service Podcast on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all the things. We're not self-promoters. We are cultural ambassadors.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
God dang.
And on that note, Nariba.
This is your cultural ambassador now, I guess. My name is Nariba Shepherd. You could find me on Instagram at Rebaru, Rebaru. And we'll see you next time.
Perfect. Peace. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.